Welcome back to the Awkward Thinking Podcast. I am Nas, aka Stacks.
What up, y'all? I'm Vince.
And we are the Awkward Fucking Thinkers, dude.
Woo!
I was about to say, where my white people claps at? Always get the white people claps, man. And if you're listening, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get awkward, motherfuckers. Fuck. God damn.
I got a question.
Damn. Like, out of cue or just...
It might be out of cue. I don't know if people realize this, but I think people think like motivation is sometimes like how a football coach is, where it's like
you gotta yell at them off.
Yeah, and it's like
it works though.
For certain things, I feel like that works, and for certain people, I don't like to be yelled at. So for me, don't yell at me. Don't think by you yelling at me it's gonna make me want to do what you want me to do, or like it's not gonna work for me. Like me being yelled at, I'm not gonna shut down, but I'm gonna shut down internally and like close you off from what you saying and just kind of say like, not fuck you, but fuck whatever you talking about.
Why is that?
I don't like the approach. I'm not like, don't yell at me. Like I'm a talker, so it's like.
Did your parents yell at you?
Nah. My parents, my parents were yellers, but they weren't like They weren't like yelling at me growing up. Like, nah.
But I might be wild.
But it's like, talk to me, nigga. Talk.
I mean, yeah, but sometimes people, like the grand majority of fucking people needs to somebody they need to yell at. I feel like for you to, I'm a hard-headed nigga. And the way you tone your voice is not like it's a way of disrespecting. It's a way of like I'm being assertive and I'm trying to get it through your mind. Like this is going to fuck you up. Like if my mom just talks to me, hey, Nasir, you fucking up. You doing this, and I really don't appreciate. I'm gonna be like, fuck that. I'm gonna do my own thing still. Mm-hmm. Now, Nasir, you're fucking up. And I need you to get this. I don't put this. I don't do that. All right, she's serious this time. Yeah, because to a hard-headed child, talking to don't really get passed through shit. I'm not listening to shit. I'm still gonna do the same shit because I think I still got a little bit more wiggle room until you hit your breaking point for me to be like, oh no, I'm not gonna do this no more.
I don't get why like you make it go that far, and I hate to have to deal with people like that where it's like
deal with me.
And I hate dealing with you sometimes. But no, like, I don't like having to sit there and try to keep yelling at you. Like, why do I got to yell at you for you to do what you need to do? And I hate that because you know what kind of job I work at. Where it's like sometimes that come up where it's like, I got to yell at you in order for you to get your shit together. And I've had to say that, like, why do I got to yell at you for you to get your shit together? That shouldn't be okay. I feel like it's more so like, I feel like I say trauma response in every episode, but I feel like that be from trauma. Like you think being yelled at is like, oh, that you care and this and that, and it's like I care enough to not yell at you and just talk to you enough to be like, get it together, bro.
I feel like the dumbest parenting style is the fucking gentle parenting shit. I feel like gentle parenting is the dumbest shit. Like, you got to. All right, so how will you be alerted? If someone doesn't yell, if someone says stop, right? Mm-hmm. You're gonna be like, your reaction time is not gonna be like that. Somebody else stop, you're gonna be like, whoa, what the fuck?
Well,
you
that's
see what I'm
different.
saying? But I'm saying, like, that's damn near the same thing. Hey, me talking to you is not getting through whatever, and it might not be a fucking trauma response or anything like that. But me talking to you is not, because you're still gonna be like, it's not a manipulative thing, but I feel like it is in a sense. But if I'm talking to you, like I said, I still got a little wiggle room until you reach your breaking point to be like, all right, enough is a fucking enough. Nigga, you need to do this, you need to do that. So that's why I feel like gentle parenting is enough, because them kids still be fucking acting the fuck up when you be, hey, little Lindy, or hey, Nick, stop doing that.
But that's not
that
just
is bad.
That's not gentle parenting.
All right, what is gentle parenting?
I feel like
me on some shit.
Gentle parenting, you can still, of course, lay down consequences and shit and still like create structure for your kid without it having to be like, all right, I'm gonna pull this build out. Like, the thing that I do, why would you do that? Like, what comes from this? Like, what makes you like when I ask certain things and the way that I ask it, that's kind of like gentle parenting, because it's like you piss me off, but I'm trying not to. Even though you piss me off, I'm trying to get you to understand what you did was wrong, and I'm trying to do that in a way that doesn't traumatize you. Like I'm not trying to like yell at you and shit because you did something wrong. I'm trying to get you to an understanding of what you did was wrong, and moving forward, you don't need to do that shit again.
So are you beating your kids?
Am I beating my kids? I was raised on the belt, but I barely got whoopings because I wasn't a bad kid though. So it's like I do believe in, I believe in spankings and shit, but I know that when me raising my kids is going to be different from how I was raised, and that's not to say like I was raised in a violent household, but that was like my siblings were violent. We were all violent. It wasn't my parents were violent towards us, but like when it comes to my kids, I know my kids won't have the same upbringing as me, because it's gonna hopefully be a little less chaotic. I had 10 siblings, so it was kind of harder to rein in 11 kids at one time versus okay, you got 2 kids, all right,
I feel like this is what I feel. I feel like I'm gonna whoop the shit out of my kids. Like, nah. Nah, I was raised, I am, I feel like I'm gonna beat my kids, but like I have a different a look on kid. Like my mom claims to fame that she did not beat me. Mm-hmm. She's this perfect person that didn't, she was very authoritative, whatever. Keisha, she beat me time to time. I remember vivid beatings. My worst beating was, I think I was getting in trouble in school, and my mom said, all right, you gonna cut up them slashes of the belt, that little when they do that shit, struck fear in my heart. So she says, she's like, all right, take your pants down, shit like that. Okay, cool. She says, nah, nigga, get on the wall, like a fucking police pat down and shit. So I get on the wall, she said, put 2 hands on the motherfucking wall, right? I got my drawers on. She says, nah, take the drawers off, right? So I'm bare ass cheek on the fucking wall waiting for like a damn near a lashing. Like I didn't pick enough fucking cotton that day. Nigga, she did that little spike of that belt and just lashed like 3 good times, right? I felt like Passion of the Christ when Jesus.
You're sick.
I felt like Passion of the fucking Christ, nigga. I'm quivering, like I'm holding a tear. I'm not gonna let
you go until you cry.
She said that. She said, I'm not going to stop until you cry. Nigga, I tried like at least I think 3 more like hits, and I was like, this shit hurt too bad. I gotta just let her know and shit like that. But that was my worst ass beating. But I wouldn't give my kids like a pat on the back. The worst fucking thing you could do to a kid, like to discipline, that pluck on the lip was the worst shit, or a pinch on the side.
I feel like pinching is fine, but I don't like that pluck lip shit.
That shit.
I feel like you should never touch a kid's face.
Yeah.
Like, keep your hands out their fucking face. As a kid growing up, I did not like for nobody to touch my face. So it's like, and I remember getting, like, my sister, I think, popped me. And she had rings and shit on. She was much older than me. And I was bleeding because of that. And she felt bad because it's like, yeah, motherfucker, you made me bleed. You shouldn't have been touching my face. Don't touch my face. That's not how you discipline me. But I think that the reason why I'm going to raise my kids a little differently, because I feel like sometimes a belt just don't do shit for a kid. Like a belt is not always like the answer. Like, yeah. And I do think sometimes it go too far. Like with the, I'm not letting you go until you cry.
Bro, that's
no offense to your mom, but why do you need to see me cry? Like, why do you want to break me in order for me to like?
You won't break my soul.
No. Like, I remember like a friend of the family, she used to babysit us and shit, and she had like a girlfriend, and she used to try to impress her girlfriend, but she would do it by whooping us. And like at a certain point, I was like 8 or 9 when I'm like, all right, belts don't hurt, because I know what the pain is. It's cool. And I remember I was not doing shit. The rest of the kids was doing shit. And she called all of us down there to whoop us, and I'm like, I wasn't doing nothing. And she was like, nah, you get up there too. And she was trying to whoop me, and I'm not crying. And I mean, she's been hitting me for a while now, in front of the girl, and the girl like, all right, just let him go. And she was like, no, I'm not gonna let him go until he cry this and that. And that made me cry, because it's like, why the fuck do you want to hurt me this bad? Mm-hmm. Why is it that serious where you need me to cry? And I told my mother about it. I'm like, I don't want her ever watching me again, because it's like, I ain't fuck with that. You ain't need to like, and it was like, you only whooped me to impress this bitch.
Yeah.
Like, not to call Shorty a bitch, because she was like, get off of him. But it's like, you only whooped me to impress her, bro. And you like, I don't know, it was just unnecessary. And I never looked at her the same after that.
I got hit for no reason. It was by my aunt, and I never forgive her for that. Like, because it was like, that was an unwarranted like hit, and it was in my face, and I ain't really fuck with that. I was just not sitting down, something, and I guess I was supposed to do something, and she said, make sure you do this, and this, and that, and the third. And I said, okay. And she hits me in my fucking face for no fucking reason. Like, and I'm just like, what possessed you to even do that? Like, the embarrassment, and her son was right there, so the embarrassment of that, and then like somebody laughing at you right after you get your ass beat, is just like, I don't agree with other people putting their hands on somebody. I don't give a fuck if we family members. Do not put your hands on my fucking child at all. That's gonna be something I stand by. Like, something that's very awkward to me that I don't like. I don't like when kids that are not my kids try to sit on my lap. I don't. Oh, yeah. I hate that. Like, or if they try to lean, or just anything in the section of because I don't want nothing perceived wrong. I know this is a thing, but like, people are fucking crazy. People's perceptions are weird as fuck. So I don't ever want a kid to be like, all right, you can sit next to me. You see what I'm saying? Or like, I don't do all that shit with kids, because I don't want to be like, oh, he touched me when I just touched the nigga shoulder or some shit like that. So yeah, I don't agree too much on that.
I got like 25 or shit. My sister just had her baby yesterday. I don't think I even told y'all. Yeah, she just had her baby. She had to get a C-section and get him taken out. Little chunky little ass. He ain't even chunky. His face chunky and shit. But
so he got your facial features.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But so it's like 27, 28 of them now, and it's like, damn. It is. It's like, what the fuck? Kids. It is. But it's like, I whooped their asses. Like, most of them. I've whooped all of their asses at a point in time, and I get everybody don't need, but it's like, with everybody not whooping your kid, it's like, it's boundaries. You're not gonna just whoop my kid for nothing. I do feel like in certain instances, if you want to, and it's also like, what you trying to whoop my kid for? Because I don't whoop my kid for shit like this. That's not some shit I would do. Like, so it's shit like that I gotta take into consideration. And my siblings know, like, it's certain shit. Like, I'm an uncle that's not about to be on no
bullshit.
Yeah, like, cause growing up, we had an uncle who was always on bullshit, always fucking with us, always doing shit, and it was like, we grew up to like really not care for him until we all became adults and he became older, and it's like, now you want to be a better person. So it's like, I never wanted to be that uncle who was him. Like, I don't want my nieces and nephews to ever like dislike me and shit, but we do. Some of my siblings, when it comes to our nieces and nephews, are like, nigga, you're childish. Or it's like, grow the fuck up. Like, leave these kids alone. And they'll try to whoop them. And so it's like, you won't have access to my kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my parenting style, I know we touched on like parenting styles like differently, but I feel like my parenting style, I may say like I might be my kids, but like I really care. Like, this ain't gonna have shit to do with shit. It has shit to do with shit, but bro, when I had like a Pokemon, right, and like I had it on like the Game Boy SP, and I had like the first Pokemon you get is like a Squirtle, Ivysaur, and a Charmander, and I would get like Squirtle. But for me to have that bitch as like an egg to like until it hatch, until a baby, like I would care for it. I would not want anything to happen to that fucking my first fucking Pokemon that I get in a fucking game. But that's like anything that I get invested in. Like, if it's like, say like, for instance, like with Charles and shit like that. Like, granted, I would never hit Charles, but I'm saying like that's a little homie that I know that's like, he's attached. Like, that's somebody that I care for, that I don't want nothing bad to happen to this kid or anything like that. I don't even if I like shove him, I feel bad for like doing something like that. But I know that my parenting style would be more of I hate to say it, it's contradiction, but it was going to be an authoritative manner, because I know that growing up, I fear my father. That was like a place like I don't know.
But shouldn't that mean? Oh.
No, so that. But I'm saying like I fear my father to the point where it was just like I don't want to go over his house. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't like this nigga is scared of me. And it was like my mom was like use that as like a dismissal. You want to go over your dad's house or some shit like that. And I'd be like no, like screaming. But I don't want to hit my kids to the point where they're so fearful of me or do shit to my kids they're like, I don't want to be around this person and I thought I would grow out of it, but it was just like that fear was still like, nigga, my heart would fucking drop. I don't know what it was. Well, I know what it was.
It's
but
years of anxiety, years of seeing like, certain shit. Like, yeah.
That shit was heavy, but like, I don't think I would necessarily beat the shit out of my kids. Like I think my last beating was my mom hit me with a wooden fucking hanger in high school because I was fucking up. I cussed out a teacher or some shit. I ain't give a fuck.
I've seen my mother use like some shit like on us. Well, not on me, but like on my other siblings, and I can't say what because then I just defamation of character. I don't want to like throw my mother under the bus. I don't.
Fuck it.
Because it's been crazy times. Like I've seen different shit within our household get used, and it's like I understand to an extent. Like you probably felt like you were pushed that far, but it's like those were kids. We were kids, so certain shit be like that wasn't okay. It wasn't okay, Ma. I'm sorry.
I don't. It's so crazy. And now that I'm thinking about it, my mom. All right, so it was my mom and my Uncle Wink, right? Mm-hmm. And my Uncle Wink was the good kid, right? So they both had kids at the same time. So my mom was the bad kid, so I was quote unquote the bad kid. Mm-hmm. My uncle had a daughter, and she was quote unquote the good kid. And I would be always, every time I got in trouble, I'm like, she never gets a beating. Like I would be so mad because I'm like, we're doing this shit together. Why the fuck am I always getting a fucking yes?
That would piss me off. Because what the fuck is what we doing here, bro?
And that was the same thing with her. So I think that translated like I got whoopings for doing dumbass shit. So nigga, you gonna learn the hard way, I guess. I don't know.
I also think now, like, I'm gonna be the kind of parent who, like, I love and I appreciate my parents, but your parents don't always. I feel like when your parents are trying to protect you from shit they grew up with, they lack in other areas because they're not aware to it. Like, let me be careful about this and let me be careful about that. They're more so thinking, this is what I went through growing up. I want to make sure my kid doesn't go through that too. Does that make sense? So by them, all right, let's say if my mother and father was abused as kids, us growing up, it was less abuse and shit. It was less of that because...
Or the same.
Yeah, nah, like I'm saying, so as a situation, there was less abuse for us growing up. Mm-hmm. But because there was less abuse, there was lack in other areas, or not because it's less abuse, but because they wanted to make sure there wasn't abuse, there was other areas where shit was going on, they just wasn't aware of because they didn't know to be aware of it or the effect that it would have on us growing up, I feel like. So I say that to say, when I have kids, I want to make sure that I'm protecting them from the shit that I feel like I was harmed from as a kid, but I also want to protect them in a way that you don't grow up with certain traumas and certain shit because I was too busy trying to protect you from this.
Yeah, I don't want my kids to grow up dumb. Not saying it like dumb, like
I would hate to have a dumb kid.
I would hate to fucking have a dumb kid because it's like I was smart enough not to do like heavy ass drugs or not follow the fucking leader all the time. Like my mom always instilled that you are a leader, you are not a follower. You see what I'm saying? So I just feel like I just don't want my kids to be the following ass or the kid that people go to make fun of on a constant nature or whatever the case may be. Like I just want my kid to, and I don't give a fuck how good you raise the motherfucker. It's life. Life has its own token.
Life will do some shit to your kids because I know I know certain shit my parents wanted different shit for a lot of us, and we still had to go through some of them lessons ourselves to understand certain shit, or even just I don't know. Life be trying to do its own shit to your kids. I feel like like you can raise your kid a certain way, but like once you let them go, you let them go. Like it's on them to make them decisions for themselves to be like, all right, this is the person I'm gonna be.
Because it's a weird area of like what you don't understand what you lack in as a parent. You know what I mean? Because it's like. I don't have any tattoos. I still want some tattoos, but I was always raised like it's against the Bible. It's against this and this and that and the third. But I'm just like, your kid may have been raised like no tattoos, this and this and that, and get like a fucking sleeve or whatever. So it's like, how can you raise somebody and then have good intentions on why you shouldn't do it or whatever? So I always wanted to know like what drives that person left. Is it the defiant? Like I've never been defiant in life, so I feel like this is me being an adult is me saying like I can finally do this. Like I never understood
taking back
that
control.
Yeah,
I feel like it depends on your parenting style. Because I feel like if you beat something into a kid, and not necessarily physically beat something into a kid, but if you keep telling a kid, this is who I want you to be, you got to allow your kid room to be themselves and think for themselves. Like my parents raised us to be thinkers. Like think for yourself, don't let nobody else make decisions for you type shit. So growing up, we would, anytime there was a situation, like you said, the situation with you and your cousin, you getting your ass beat because you went along with it. That's the problem. If you would have thought for yourself, you wouldn't have got your ass beat. So I look at it like that. Like you got to raise your kid to like, yes, you need morals, and there are certain things that you need to do and stand by, but I can't helicopter parent you, and I can't be over you to the extent of I'm smothering you and I'm forcing you. Cause like in high school, I used to tell people, my daughter won't dress a certain way. Y'all dressing like hoes, and they was dressing like hoes. It was.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you saying that right now. Like I don't want my daughter to have to do this and this and that and the third. Right? She's grown up all her life and doing that. Now she would be like, I want to be like my friends. My friends be wearing the booty shorts to the cheek come out, all type of shit, and the crop tops and stuff like that. So it's like you can't really, and you can't control it. You know what I mean?
To an extent, they're gonna want to grow up and want to explore certain things, but I want to teach you certain things before you do that. So
go ahead.
What I want to teach you is that no matter what you wear, what you wear should not represent, or it shouldn't. Of course, what you wear it doesn't give nobody access to your body. And that goes for my sons too. Like whatever you wear does not grant people access to your body. But we need to stop playing stupid and playing dumb. Like what you wear does not give off a certain image to other people. So you need to be mindful of that if you're going to be wearing certain shit. Like me with my do-rag, I will not drive with my do-rag on. Especially going, like, we stay by police stations and shit. I'm a black man. This bitch is comfortable as hell and it's for my hair. It's like made for me. But because I know when they see a black man with a do-rag on, they automatically think thug and they automatically think threat. It's like I won't do that. And it's not because I don't want to have my do-rag on, but it's because of my safety, and I gotta keep that in mind. Like that. So that's the way I'm gonna raise my kids. Like, of course, dress how you want to dress to an extent, because you're not dressing crazy up under my roof. Like, you just not. But dress how you want to dress to an extent. Explore yourself and shit, but be mindful of some of the things that come from this. And we got to just stop playing stupid. Like, there aren't certain things that come from the way that you dress.
Yeah, and I think even to piggyback off of what you said, I feel like that if I do have a daughter and she does want to dress like that, I want to say, hey, are you ready for that type of attention? That's what I want to. Are you ready for people trying to either, hey, it's human trafficking shit that's out here. It's people that look at you a certain way, that you're going to be labeled as certain things. Are you ready? Are you mentally ready for that challenge? Because if you are, be who you feel like you want to be. But if you're not, tone it down just a bit. Gradually build yourself up to that confidence, because that's all it really is, building yourself to a certain way or a certain confidence to be comfortable in something. So that's what I would if I had a daughter, that's what something I would do.
And it also goes to not using your body to like I feel like don't use your body
to get what you want.
Yeah, to like don't be out here dressing up like a hoe because to get attention, because I don't want you to have that kind of attention. Like, and that, so when as my kids grow up, I'm gonna try to give them a healthy amount of attention and make sure and also, like I said, as they're growing up, there's gonna be certain shit that I try to instill in them, and I'm gonna try to put them in certain situations where it's like, I gotta think for myself, I gotta be my own person, and I gotta see certain shit for myself. Mm-hmm. I think another thing too, I've been seeing a lot on TikTok is like people getting on their parents and shit, like people like going in and, oh, like my parent wasn't this and my parent wasn't that, and why wouldn't y'all want us to go to college, but you don't have money saved up for us to go to college, this and that, shit like that. And to an extent, I get it, because you the kid and you feel like your parents should have had you set up. Mm-hmm. But for your parent who didn't have shit to like a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, like they're doing their best for you. And for some people, that's all they fucking know. Like I get it, because like going to college, nigga, I was on my own when I went to college. But that's nothing I could ever be like. I could not be mad at my parents about that, because you at least got me here. And that's how I always looked at it. I looked at it like, you at least got me here. You helped motivate me. You got me to this point. So okay, yes, it would be great to have help. It would be great for you to have saved up money so I didn't have to take out no loans. But look at, Uncle Joe.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe, man. He dropped that bag on salty shit.
Joe Biden, take me out to dinner, baby.
Man, now all them little misconstrues. Oh, what the fuck is college? I went down there went to college for free, bitch.
Yep. But like, yeah, it's like, I feel like sometimes we're too quick to judge our parents. Because I used to be like, how could you let certain shit go on? How could you do this? How are you not financially stable as an adult? And now that I'm an adult, nigga, I completely understand it. It's a struggle sometimes. Sometimes you're not as perfect as you thought you would have been. Life is not always, and I think life is a perfect teacher of that. Like you think you know shit and you think you got shit figured out, and life will be like, nah, here, let me just show you what your parents went through. And I'm not going through the struggle that my parents went through, but I am still stressed. I'm still like tired as fuck. But I know my parents went through way worse than what I'm going through. So every time like I achieve something, or I'm going further in my career, or I'm doing something, it's like I kind of attribute that to my parents. I got here because of them, not just because they know they couldn't throw down $40,000 for school, but they taught me a lot of shit that helped me push through school.
Yeah, in life at that. Yeah. I had a conversation with my mom on my break during work, and she was necessarily telling me like, why do you have this memory of me, like of not, whatever, you feel like you had this such bad childhood or whatever the case may be, right? Mm-hmm. And I told her, I said, just because you may feel like you were the best parent in the world, it's some things that we both went through at the same time that you seen different and I seen different. That, hey, if this is my first time me experiencing this as a child, this shit is the worst shit in the world. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? To you, you've lived some life. You 20 something, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is everyday fucking life. To me, this is like, oh, my world doesn't shut down. You know what I mean? And I said, I'm not saying that you're a bad parent. I'm not saying that you didn't show up. Sometimes I don't remember a lot of shit. Like, we got into it. She was like, I went on your field trips. I went on this. I went on that. And I was like, I understand that, but I just don't remember it. And then to segue a little off of that, I don't know what it is lately. Like, people have been unlocking memories. I don't know if it's just been me just trying to push them to the back, but I'm like, oh shit, this really did happen. But I don't know what's been going on with me, where it was just like everybody's just like oh shit, yeah, like I don't know why I've been like either suppressing them or I just forgot about them, like they've been in the far back of my mind or some shit like that. But that even goes back to like what I was saying, like I would never tell my mom like she's a bad parent or anything, because it's some things that you might unlock. You might unlock a memory that, oh yeah, I did forget that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying like she has the saying like I should have beat you more than what I should type shit like that. But I'm like, I don't know. I think that she just feels as though like me, even with the pod and shit, she feels as though I'm like airing out or whatever. But I'm like, I'm not saying you're a bad parent. I'm not saying, I'm just giving you my life's perspective of how I seen the situation. Like, I even unlocked the memory like not too long ago, because it was like, damn, I haven't never seen a vulnerable moment like with my father. Like us just talking about that, like that him being like all that bullshit like that. And I remember one day we was like in West Philly, and I think it was just me and him, and he was in like the room, but the room door, I think he felt like he shut it, but it was like a little faulty door. So it was kind of cracked open a little bit. So I hear like sniffling and shit like that. So, and this is the only vulnerable memory I have like as a child of my dad. And the nigga's on the side of the bed like crying his eyes out and shit like that. So it was just like that memory, like it was just like shit that just unlocked, like, oh shit, like I remember that type shit like that. But yeah, that was my little spin on unlocked memories.
For parents, it's hard to hear like
the truth.
Yeah, you weren't perfect. I wasn't the perfect kid.
Yeah.
So you can't be the perfect parent. Like, and that's just the reality. It's like, it's no offense to you, because at the end of the day, this is your first time doing it. This is your first time. I feel like, to an extent, because now my mother gets to go through parenthood again, because she has my mother has my nieces and nephews, so she gets to go through parenthood again. And through that, she's been able to realize like some of the faults and shit she had with us, and she's admitted that like, I do see some of the shit that I did wrong with y'all, or some of the things that I allowed to happen, and I shouldn't have allowed it to happen. And with this second batch, this is not my redo, but now I get to fix what I did, or I feel like I'm fixing what I did. And to an extent, she is, because it's like the shit you were looking for us, and you wanted to keep us safe from, and you miss them other areas. Now you can do that for my nieces and my nephews, and I don't know. I like that.
So even what you want for your kid can be like bad too, because my mom was like, I'm giving you everything that I ever wanted. You know, as a kid, I put you in the good schools. I did this, and I wanted the family, but then that turned around to like when I got older, I'm sorry for trying to give you what I wanted, because that's something that I realized that you were telling me that's not what you want. You know what I mean? Not saying I'm blessed to, you know, be able to went to Catholic school and experience shit young like that. But certain things of the family aspect, some certain things of like, you need to be inclusive. I'm sorry for pushing that on you when you didn't want that, instead of letting you organically have that and grow relationships organically, just because I wanted a family. I wanted something to say like, this is us. This is one. We're a unit type shit like that.
And that I wanted a family. That's why I do feel like it's important like as adults right now.
We need our own studio, y'all, because bro,
tap my Cash App.
Bro, start adding that Cash App. What were you saying?
Wanting a family, I feel like just isn't enough, because wanting a family is like, it's like us wanting a dog. I really want a dog, but I know I'm not able to give it the love, the time, and care that it needs right now. I'm working most of my days. I'm not off of work until about 7. And it's like, you know, shit, a dog got to go a whole day. Like I told them, I don't want to get a dog because I ain't going to know the nigga. The nigga ain't going to know me. I'm going to come home for a couple hours, play around with it, and then want to go to sleep. But then you at home, the dog at home all day by itself. Like, that's something I always got to think of and keep in consideration. It's like the same thing with a family. A lot of times, you know, some of y'all be going through heartbreaks, and y'all be hurt, or you be trying to keep a nigga, and I ain't saying that's that, but y'all be wanting to keep somebody, like you want to keep your girl or you want to keep your nigga, so you get her pregnant or you get pregnant by him, and now it's like you got a kid who did not ask to be here, and now you putting them into y'all situation, because like you want a family, but this nigga don't want a family, or
exactly.
You want a family, but she don't want a family. It's always something. So it's like this is a whole person who's going to have to deal with everything that life has to give them. So everything you went through in life, plus everything you're going to give them, and everything your partner is going to give them, and who else, like you never know who else is going to have an impact on your kid. So you need to be very, very for sure about bringing a kid into this world, and not just about bringing a kid, but actually loving it and caring for it in a way that's gonna allow that kid to grow up and be a happy person.
Like even with my mom case, like she was 17, and a doctor told her like, you won't have a baby. Like this is nothing that will happen. So when I did come across, she was like, she were like, this is a miracle, like on some like. But what I would say to that is, it's not necessarily, and I'm not saying what her reason was probably like, oh, I didn't have a baby. They said I couldn't have a baby, and this might be my only shot to have a fucking kid. Whether this man is in my life, whether he's not in my life, I will tend to this and care for this child as much as I can. But what I will say to the men is, stop giving false hope to a woman when it comes to pregnancy. Don't tell her like, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm giving her affirmations, because when a woman is pregnant, her hormones is all out of whack, all that shit. And you're telling this person, and then when the time comes to where you really, this little motherfucker is crying little screams and shit like that, and you like, oh, I'm not sure anymore. That don't either have an agreement where it's like, hey, I'm still not ready for this challenge, and not hindered. Like, stop trying to be like, oh yeah, this is my kid, this is in and out. So men, just stop giving women this false hope of, yeah, we gonna be a family, we gonna love each other, we gonna have this dope bond and shit like that. And then when shit don't work, co-parenting is a thing, and some people work efficiently on co-parenting.
My cousin and his girl are beautiful with co-parenting, like beautiful with it. It's no arguing, we about to try to dip into each other's lives and, oh, you fucking with somebody, now you can't get the kid. It's literally, hey, you able to come get them this day, or I'm grabbing them on Tuesday to take them out to eat. Oh, that's cool. That's I got something going on that day. That work. Thank you. Like shit like that. And it's a really beautiful thing, because it's like them kids, they're growing up happy. Like both of them are extremely happy. They, I just really respect the situation they have going on. I like that.
All right. So it's that time.
Hold on.
Oh, you got another point?
It was something I was just about to get into right before.
Go ahead.
What was you saying right before this, though? I'm sorry.
That men was giving false information to women about being in a child's life or before the baby comes, and then when the baby comes, it's like, oh shit.
I think it's important to also have them. If you fucking with somebody, have them conversations. Like when I was not in a relationship and shit before this, and I was out here just like with my peoples, and we were having sex and shit, the conversation came up about birth control. Oh, what would happen if you got pregnant? And it was a conversation of, no, you getting pregnant does not mean we're going to get into a relationship, because we're not in a relationship right now. I'm not looking for a relationship, and it's not that for me. So you got to be honest with people and let people know where you're coming from. But hey, if that did happen and you decided to keep the baby, I want to be a part of my kid's life. I'm a person, shit. If I get somebody pregnant I'm not in a relationship with, I'm going to want to have my kid. I'm going to want to have my kid for the most part. I'm going to want to have custody of my kid, or at least something where it's like my kid is not just your kid. Like women be thinking that, oh, I had him, so he's mine or she's mine. No, nigga, the kid is our kid, and I'm the kind of person I want to be able to raise my kid. So,
and I kind of like, not even on that, I just hate this one thing. Like, don't tell me just because I don't have kids that I don't know how, not saying I don't know how to raise a kid or I don't know the challenges of it, but don't tell me, oh, just because I don't have kids that I don't understand what you're going through and something like that. I'm a fucking human. I know how a human should operate. That's just basic common fucking knowledge. Like, I hate when people try to put those little limitations on you. Oh, you don't have kids, so you don't understand this or what I'm going through. Nigga, I understand your kid is hungry. Like, nigga, I understand that y'all, what the fucking bills is not doing. Your kid is on a fucking asthma pump or whatever the fuck your kid, like, or hey, it might be your kid is comfortable talking to me about something that you are too, like, this authoritative figure, so I don't know if they're going to understand. Hey, little Jermaine or little whatever the fuck, Therese, I don't know the fucking little girl name, but I'm just saying, like, she going through, like, a little upset, she feeling a little depressed, she feel like, No, don't tell me about my kid. I know what the best was for. Like, come on with the fucking prideful shit. You don't. Like, I don't know. That was just my thing. I just had to put that in perspective because I really hate that shit. Don't tell me because, I don't have kids. Like, I don't understand. Because we got into it on the game about it. And one of my homies is dealing with a girl. And she got an older child and stuff like that. So I'm like, I was giving my 2 cents about it. And it was like, kids play a part. I was like, that nigga don't got to be in that kid's life. Like, they're dating. They're not dating for serious, you know what I mean? But I was just saying, like, if that person's open for that person's child to be in their lives or some shit like that, yeah, then that's a different conversation. But I said, that man right now, if it's mutual, I'm just dealing with one person, that man has nothing to do with the kid right now. I don't think, or you have a different perspective.
I'm a firm believer in not dating someone who has a kid right now. Just off the strength, I'm not ready to be a father. So it's like,
what if she got some fire ass pussy,
I don't care. But it's still, I feel like when you dating somebody who has a kid, it's important to keep in perspective the impact you're going to have on that kid. A kid doesn't need to see someone come into their life only for a minute and then leave right back out. That's not fair to that kid. So with certain shit, like, I'm not dating somebody with a kid and being like, all right, because you never know where shit gonna go. And if you know you're not serious about it right now, if you know you don't want kids right now yourself, don't date nobody with a kid. Like, it's that simple. And it also do depend on the age. Well, nah, because I'm not dating nobody who got a fucking newborn. Because that's nasty. Yeah.
What? Are you serious? Man, look.
I'm not, because
that would be great. Newborn?
See, and that's your problem.
Nah.
That's all kind of baby daddy drama and shit. Unless the nigga dead, it's slow. And then his family kind of need to be dead too. That way I don't got to deal with them either. Because it'd be too much. It'd be too much baby daddy, baby mama bullshit. And it's like, your kid is a newborn. You don't even know if your kid, you don't know if your kid, but like, the shit between you and your baby daddy still, up in the air. You don't even know that right now. You don't know what y'all situation is. I don't want to get into some shit with you in a year from now. You realize you want a family. You want your family.
Last point, because now that you said that, I've been looking. You probably don't know her, but I see her on my For You page all the time. Her name is like E. Kane on TikTok and shit. And her baby dad like go like back and forth. Like, she's always talking about light skin. She got the wig, but her and her baby like dad like get into it and shit like that. And he like aired her out like, y'all see her as this person, but she's not really emotionally invested into being a parent, like a good parent or some shit like that with her kids and some shit. But not like, I look at it like everybody's like commenting, laughing, and like, oh, she's so real, she's so true. But I'm like, why are we praising a toxic situation? Like, we're seeing that this is two people that don't belong together, manipulating our minds to say, hey, we're toxic and we're still going to be fucking around. I'm still doing my thing, but, this is who I still be fucking with here and there. We got kids. I got my kid on my shoulder telling, like, Instagram or whatever that I have a terrible fucking baby mom and shit like that. And it's just like, When is it like, as a society, we're gonna say this is not okay? You're giving them more trauma, telling, oh, this is a fucked up bitch in front of your daughter. You're holding your daughter and saying, oh, this is a fucked up bitch and she don't deserve shit. She ain't never gonna be shit. And then y'all back and forth. God knows what happens when the cameras is off. But why do we give people like that I don't understand. That relatability. It's good and it's bad.
People like seeing other people misery. That's all it is. Because it reminds them like, hey, I'm not as miserable.
Yeah.
Or it reminds them, hey, somebody got it worse. Like, I don't know that. I don't get into situations like that, because when we stay next door to them people, we be concerned. We be like, oh, he needs to leave her alone. She needs to leave him alone. So it's like when that shit on social media and people be feeding into it, laughing at it, and then it be like, y'all are grown ass fucking people and you think this shit is cute and you think it's funny. These people out here doing the dumbest shit to each other while they got kids, and them kids is going to be the ones that suffer from it. And you think this shit is just like funny?
That's not.
Like when like they showed some videos, somebody getting drugged outside, like outside of somebody's house, and it was like the person, I guess they was in a relationship, but she picked the person up. I don't know if it was a man or a woman, but she picked them up and just tossed them out her house, and they was like, everybody in the comments like, oh yeah, I would have did this and that, and it's like, nigga, this is domestic violence
at its finest.
And y'all be thinking this shit funny until somebody did, and now y'all on social media, oh, we need to do better. And it's like, shut the fuck up, everybody.
People are sheep, but with that being said,
no,
it's about that time where we leave you with a positive message to get through the week. Vince, what is your positive message to get through the week?
1 second.
My positive message to get to the week: stop being fucking toxic. Yeah.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
Something I really listened to the other day was about healing your inner child, and it was more so about you. A lot of us get trauma and shit because of our parents have been through trauma, and then that trauma just get passed right back down to us. And it's like sometimes you have to heal yourself in order to heal the person that your parent is. So like sometimes, like, let's say your parent is a parent, your parent might be shitty or they might not be the best parent. It's up to you to be able to be like, let me heal the shit that my parent did to me, so maybe they can heal themselves. But I like that. It was on YouTube. I listened to it for like twice now, and it's really nice. And I think, a lot of times, we got grudges and shit against our parents for shit that they did, but it's like they don't know no better, and that don't excuse what they did, but they didn't know no better. They ain't know that you would grow up with this, like you would grow up feeling this kind of way.
My positive message is not really a message. It's more of like a thought. Like, you got to think, like, in your 20s, right now, I still feel like a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine a 23-year-old or 21-year-old mom. That's still a fucking kid.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why we always have this like thing when people turn like a certain age, like, it's over with. Parenting don't stop. Mm-hmm. I don't think. And yeah, the guidance is a little like, it's like an elder teaching somebody who's like not as disciplined. Like, like a nigga's old as fuck and he's trained all his life or some shit like that. But this old ass nigga is willing to still guide you throughout, even in their spirit still guide you through whatever in life, like the best trainer or whatever the case. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Shit like that. So it's like, we're everybody's a kid. Everybody is a kid raising a kid. And the cycle will never stop. That cycle will never stop. But you have to look in the perspective like, this is going to be a child that still hasn't even figured out what life is for them, trying to give life right back, like trying to figure out life for another person. Mm-hmm. So that's
because there's so much shit we learning now. Like, fuck, I never thought about this, or I never I don't know, I didn't realize. Like until you get to that point. Life is a great teacher, and that's why I'm also a person, like, I'm young, like, I'm 25. Maybe when I was 21, I'm like, at 26, I have a kid. But, nigga, I'm still a fucking kid. Yeah. I'm not a kid. Like, I'm a grown-ass man.
Like, we men, but it's just, like, certain aspects, I was just sitting, and I'm like, certain things, I'd be like, bro, I feel like a kid. Like, I feel like I'm just, like, it's still stuff I'm not.
It's weird to even be not addressed as an adult, but like, I'm an adult now, so certain shit, like certain interactions, like I'm around older people and I talk a little bit more freely, and it's kind of weird because it's like, fuck, I'm grown. Yeah. I'm this adult, like I'm a person, bro. I'm a whole person here. I don't know. But yeah.
Well, if you made it to the end of the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and leave a review. Talk to us and make sure you follow us on I'm Thinking on Instagram and TikTok. With that being said, I'm Nas.
I'm Vince. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead. Please.
Because you're trying to take up all the,
Go ahead.
I'm Vince. I just want to say thank you for being awkward with us today.
Yes. See you next week. There you go. White people claps.
We need